Hi and welcome back. Today we are going to look at this. Now we're in a multiplayer game and we can play against an opponent. Looks like this. So left is white, right is black. So Dia is black here. And we also have a chat here. So this is actually a mix-up between what we've already seen. I can go back here, and if I look at index here, if we're here, you have this one, and so you have the board, and if you're here you have the chat, and here you also have a chat. So the first index page has the board, and when we're logged in and go to multiplayer game we have a chat as well. So I've taken both of them, so it's gonna look similar, and that's gonna make it easier. So multiplayer game, new opponent. I play against Dia. If I push Dia, we're gonna get redirected to this page right here. So chmult pages ch index php. So if you look at if we go back to the main folder here, or root folder, we have this, and we have the php. Sorry, I'm gonna make this bigger. We have the chmult there. We got the pages. We have the index mult, but we go to this folder now, ch, and here we got index. So index is right here, and we got the php for it right here. So what happens when you come to this page? Well, I have written something here, and it's just when you go back, you have two buttons on this page: new opponent and new game. New game, we saw that already in the first page when we play against the computer. It's just to start a new game, and it's the same here. We put the pieces back where they're from the start, so new game is just new game. But if you push new opponent, what's gonna happen is we're gonna go to the index mult page again, and if we read here, it says if new opponent button is pushed, the player is redirected to index mult. So we go to indexmult.php. This page checks if it has a game ID, and if so, it deletes the game ID for the user and the opponent. So for both the user and the opponent. That's why when I push here, I'm gonna set my game ID to 0, and I'm also gonna set Dia's game ID to 0 in the database. And as you saw in the last video, when we're looking for the new chats, it also looks if the game ID has changed. So if it's set to 0, it's gonna go it's gonna redirect you to this page here. Yeah, because if we go, I'm just gonna have a look at index mult again. If we're redirected to index mult, we are first gonna do this. If the session game ID is different from 0 or not equal 0, then we're gonna delete the game here, as you see. So go back in some I think it's 2 videos back or something like that to check out what this does, or just check the code actually. User class delete game, what does it do? Okay, anyway, so index, this is the page we got, and what we'll do is we get the session variables, and we have here parent location index mult. Its value is new opponent, so this is the button if we're in a game. new opponent. If I push that, we get to the location indexmult.php. And then we have a header, welcome, the color is green, welcome, and this is going to be étoile if I'm logged in as étoile. So welcome étoile, you are playing against Dia. So you are playing against color red, echo session opponent, because we have the session variables, because we had it from the start here. And I've also, from the first page when we're playing a computer, you can set the pieces to whatever you want, but we don't want to do that in a multiplayer game. So I've done a style display none here for that one. We have the board, no problem there. And here you have what we talked about in the last video, the chat messages. We got the available players there. We don't need that one anyway in here, obviously. I could just take this away. But chat messages here, chat big. Again, it's over here now, chat and the text area. Hello, Dia. So you see, now we only have one chat here, and if I push new opponent, we're gonna delete all the chats that we have made over here. So whenever I go to new opponent and I do a deleted game, we're gonna erase every chat that has, or we're gonna delete whatever game ID chat we had here. Okay, so we're not saving this anywhere. Yeah, so that's what's different. The jQuery, or the JavaScripts we're using, is the same ones as we had on the first page when we played a computer. The only difference is this one right here, the GUI multiplier .javascript. That's the one that's different and what I've been changing to make it work. And we also have the delete database there. I don't know if I use that one or if it's just garbage that I haven't taken away. We'll see. And the script, the chat box game in game. In the last video we checked the chat box .js, but this one I've chosen to call chat box in game. So that's when you're in a game. So we got that one as well. I'm gonna start with the chat box in game here, and then we're gonna go and look at the multiplayer game. This one is the important one. This one is just the same as before in a way. So let's go and have a look at chatbox in game. And it's 2 steps back, JS, chatbox in game. So what we do here is similar as before. We have a chat message, display messages in game, and we do an insert message, so it's almost the same. Insert message was the same as before. Display messages in game is different. So let's have a look at that one. Let's see, display messages in game. So we include the classes chat, we create a chat, we put in the user ID, the game ID, and display messages in game. So let's have a look in classes chat, display messages in game. And well, it's gonna be really similar. I'm just gonna check if there's something else going on here. Well, this is what takes care of if I push new opponent, it's gonna set the game ID to 0 for both me and Dia. And Dia is not gonna know it's 0 before she checks the database. And we have this chat again, and in the last chat I was checking if we changed the game ID right here, and we're also going to do that in this one. So if game ID is equal to 0 this time, then you're gonna get redirected to the indexmalt.php. In the other one, we were looking if the game ID was different from 0, not equal to 0, then we have a game, and then we need to go to redirect instead and come to this page. But now we want to come back to indexmalt if the game has been deleted. So that's the difference between display messages in game and just display messages. Alright, so that was that, and now we are going to look at this one, the multiplayer GUI. So everything is just the same here as before except for this one. So let's go in and have a look. JS, no, pages, CH, JS, and here we go, GUI multiplayer. So I haven't bothered to explain any of his code, the Blue Fever software guy that was making all this for the chess. So I've just used this, and what I had to change was this one. That's the only thing you need to change. So what I've changed is, if we go down to the almost to the middle, he had a function called make user move, which was this. Now I've done another one that's called make user move to, and that one is for us, you know, when we have a multiplayer game. We don't want the computer to make a move, we just want to wait until someone makes a move and so on. So I'm gonna explain what's happening here. So make user move to. We are doing, let's just, I'm gonna check if I need to explain something else first. No. So make user move. First we're gonna look at the color player. Which color is the player? So if we're calling a function in the JavaScript that is user color. So to check for which color, we do user color here, and then we are doing this one here, user color, and it returns the user color. So we're gonna get the user color whenever we call this. And what this one does is it goes to get color, and it looks for the string first, and you put this one in and you do the get color. Actually you don't need the move string, I just copy and pasted this. So this is an Ajax method post. We're putting in these variables which we don't need. We're only looking for which color we got. So it goes into get color, so we can have a look at get color. So we go one step back, or actually two, get color, and what this one does is it's calling the move class. We haven't checked the move class yet, so let's have a look at the move. We have seen the user and the chat. If we go into move, we have a get, move, set, so get and set again, and some functions. It's only three functions. Get color is questioning the database, and it's checking for, well, it selects everything from the user, ordered by user ID, and what it does is I've imported a a variable here. So if we have a look in the getColor PHP, it will do this function and pass this session user ID here. So what it will do is just to check the user table with the user ID. Well, actually down here it's while user ID is equal to the user ID here, you see here. So it's doing a while loop, it's checking the user ID, and when it's equal to the ID, this ID is whatever user ID we have here. So it's checking for the color that you have on the, which color I have. Alright, and it's returning this color. So when we go back to the getColor PHP, we're doing an output and a JSON to pass it along, and we go to our GUI multiplayer here, and it's gonna return this data message. We're gonna know if it's white or black, and if it is equal to white, we set the user color to 0. If it's something else, then we put the user color to 1. And I've done some trial and error, so this will work anyway. So white, user color 0, or otherwise 1. So we return either 1 or 0 here. So now we got the color player here to 1 or 0, depending on what color you got. This code is just if you're pushing a piece or pressing a piece here, what's happening if I release. If I push this, I haven't made a move, but when I push this one here, I'm gonna make a move. Then it goes into this if statement here. And if it goes into this if statement, we're gonna do some other stuff here. So what we'll do is, well, it's not gonna make the move until we go into this if statement. And this if statement checks for the which color we got and what board side we got. And the board side is what he had in his JavaScript earlier. It's whose turn is it. The board side is whose turn is it, but it also depends on the color you have. So is it the it's like if I'm white, I'm not supposed to be able to move black. You see what I'm saying? So if I would just check for the board side, it would be, okay, can white move now or can black move now? And I could have moved anyone, as long as if it's white, I can move white. If it's black, I could have moved black. But I need to check my game color to see if if I can move black. That's what we need to insert into his program here. So that's what we're checking here. And then we're just making the move if everything checks out right. And if not, we're not doing anything. Yeah, that's it. And when we're checking for user move, in the end, we're also going to do this. So if we made a move and it's allowed, we need to save this move to the database, so that will be the last move. And we're going to put that move into my row and to the opponent's row, Dia's row. So she knows which was the last move, and I know what was the last move. And then we're gonna output it to this page, the web page here. So she's gonna check for a new move. If I moved, she's gonna check for a new move. And if I change that string, she's gonna know about it, and the game is gonna do that move. So it's checking against the database. Has the move changed? And if it has, it will output the new board. That's what's happening, and we do that with this one. So it's a post method. We do insert move, and we are passing this variable move string, and it's going to be a JSON here, but it doesn't matter because we're not returning anything here. You see, in the function we're not returning anything. We just need to insert this move to the database. So insert move, let's have a check. Insert move over here. We call the class move. If the move string is set, then we do create a move, and we do a lot of set, set user ID, set move string. So this is going to be the string that decides the board. And then we do the insert move function with this session game ID. So if I check the move class, I'm going to do the insert move, and then I'm going to also do the get last move here. Why am I doing that? Well, it's my trial and error, so I don't actually need this. But I do the insert move. And we look at the insert move, and it's going to do this. So it's just putting it into the database. So including the database, we do the get user ID and the get move string. And we put the move ID equals 1. Why are we doing that? I don't know. We'll see. But we do a move request. We select everything from users, order by user ID limit 1. So we only take one user. It should only be one user with one username and password. User ID, we check our own user ID, and we check our row, and we query the database again, and we update the users to this move string, the new move string, because we already have a move string from the beginning. Either it's this start board, so we have that already set. So now we just want to update the database to the new board string. So I call that move string in the database. So if we have a look here, I'm just gonna get the database. If we go here in the database, you see in this one here, move string, that's when you have a multiplayer game. So whenever I make a move against Dia in this case, I'm gonna change this move string. And so Dia and I are gonna have the same move right here. So it's updated on both places. So I update user set move string where game ID is something. So we both have the same game ID. We're sharing this game ID. So we're gonna update the user table where we have this game ID, which we both have. Both Dia and I have this game ID. So we put the move string in those two rows. So there you have it. That's the insert move. Going back to this JavaScript, we did all this. If we were able to make a move, we did the insert move. And yeah, let's see what we got more. Yeah, this one is just to flip the board depending on which color you got. So you see we do a get color here. We also did a get color here to see if we could move, but this flip game once if black. We check the color, and if you're black, then you want this table to be flipped. So that's also a function we do. So we have this function in the JavaScript. So when we do this when we load the JavaScript, we're loading everything in here. So we have this function, but we're also running this function. That's why it's like this. So we're running this function, checking whatever color we got, and we flip the board if we need to. Okay, and now we're looking at well, under make user move to, something else I've added is then this function, load last move. So it's checking for every time we it's doing it with an interval again. So it's checking if we have a new string in our database. So if I check the database, if we have a new move string, it's gonna load up the new board, and that's what we do with this load lmove. So function load lmove, if I go down here, you see once we've done this whole JavaScript, we're gonna do load move once here, and then we're gonna set the interval to make load this move every 2000 milliseconds. So what's happening when we load move? Well, we do the Ajax with a post method here, and we do a display move, or we're using this PHP display move. And what we do is we're passing these variables in the move string, and it's the board we got right now. So we're calling this display move, so we need to look at it, display moves. And what we do is we create we include the class move, we create a move, and then we do, whoa, that was the delete move, display move, there we go. We're doing a session start so we can get the session variables. We're including the classes move. We do lmove is equal to nothing here, and if the move string is set, then we we create a move, and then we do a set, and we get the last move here. We're gonna return this with a JSON. So you see it's in the message here, and we do a get last move, and it's also a variable passed here to, if I go and look at move, we have the get last move here, and we pass in this variable through here, and well, it's gonna check the game ID and the move string, and it's gonna return move when the game ID is equal to the ID that we were passing in here. Okay, and so we're just getting the string, and we're returning it. So if data message is not equal to nothing, so we have something in here, and if move string, this move string, that was what we had on the board, if that one is not equal, so if it's the same string that we have returned here, we're not going to do anything. But if the move string is different from what it was before, then we're going to do this parse fen, so it's going to change the board. Okay? Yeah, so that's actually everything. I don't think I need to say anything more there. I've done some small changes as well, but it's no biggies. So there you have it. This is all you need for creating a multiplayer game. There's one thing I want to say though, and it's when you put this live. I'm gonna do a last video where I put this live, because now you see we're in localhost here and we're in localhost here. So how to put this live. When you put it live, if you have an account that's somewhere where you can have it for free, you're not going to be able to do that much, and we can only call the database, I think it's 1,500 times in an hour, and I'm doing a lot of calls to the database. So something to make this program better is that if we only call the database as a few times, not like I've done now a lot of times, like when we check for a move, for example, if we go and check for a move, we are doing it every 2000 milliseconds, so every 2 seconds, and that is a lot. If I do this every 2 seconds, that's gonna be a lot per hour. And say if you're like 10 people logged in, well, it's gonna go pretty fast, up to 1,500 connections an hour. So then you're gonna get an error message. So well, if you wanna upgrade this program or code, make it better, that's the thing you need to do. But this works as an example of how you can communicate between two players, talking to a database or communicating with a database. And so that was my aim for this tutorial, just to connect two people together to play against each other using the SQL, so you can pull values and so on. Well, yeah, last video is gonna be how you put it live, because I when I started doing this, it was I would have been glad to see someone that showed me how to do that. So thanks for watching, and well, we'll see if I see you in the next video then. Bye.